My motto is trust, respect, loyalty, and following the chain of command. If you do good business, your name and your reputation will continue to grow over the years. But the second that you burn bridges and you do bad business, you won't last very long.
That's true.
Make a name for yourself, not because of somebody else. That's real game. Be humble, be courteous, respectful.
And be hungry. Stay hungry too.
At all times.
All time.
But yeah, financial literacy doesn't exist when it comes to stars and celebrities and athletes and whatnot, unless they have good morals and values and a proper upbringing from a parental structure or, aunts and uncles, or you need a real one in your corner. I've done incredible business growing that hashtag. Crane's World TV hashtag, I don't even use it, has 5,500 hashtag posts. Between Crane's World TV and Raw Talent Shy, I'm at like 28,000 hashtag posts, which is a crazy movement.
Yo, welcome back to another episode, the Delete Kings podcast. I go by the name Delete King 850. I got my boy here with me.
You already know Delete King CVO, Chicago's very own.
Yeah, and we have a very, 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 very special, exclusive one for you today. Like, we gonna get some high-level entrepreneur bosses. I told y'all, I promised y'all. So if y'all been tuned in, like, we gaining some momentum on the episodes, but I told y'all we gonna bring some people that's experts in their field, that's at the top of their game, and ultimately they gonna share their story and give y'all the game for real, So finally, I'm not the smartest person in the room today. I'm about to get some game my damn self. I'm gonna let CVO introduce our special guest for today.
So, our special guest is one of my favorite people. I've been in the entertainment industry a very long time, and this is one of the most well-connected, well-driven bosses that I have ever met as far as doing everything I've done so far. My brother, my boy, Bill Crane, Crane's World TV, Raw Talent Shy. Like, you know what I'm talking about? So,
greetings and the finest of salutations. Thank you guys for having me on. I love Delete Kings 850. I love CVO. And shout out to all the listeners out there.
Yes. Man, Bill, it's like I said, it's a blessing to, always be around you. You're always hard work, dedicated into the game, unbelievable. You've been in touch with multi-platinum, and I say this again, multi-platinum artists. You even been shout out on a song by Twister.
Two of them. Shout out to Twista. And this just then, I may be on the new G Herbo album with Southside. So that should be dropping soon. So we'll see.
Multi-platinum. I have a question for you as far as a lot of the artists you work with.
Unlimited questions, unlimited time. Anything for you, CVO?
Yes. So as far as the whole 9 yards you've been doing this, what do you say is... Honestly, I'm going to start with a little bit. What it was, I want to say, your most hardest point in the entertainment industry, working with artists, big artists, multi-celebrities. What would you say is your hardest point or even hardest artist to even do business with?
Well, first, I started working with Twista back in 2013. So I worked for him for a year and a half. And when I started my own thing in 2015, I really had to find a role and a purpose, right? Because, you started off in the game with a camera in your hand. But for me, what's my role? Am I a promoter, meaning I throw shows? Am I a host, meaning I host shows? Am I a publicist, meaning I get people TV, radio, and print interviews? Am I a consultant? Am I a connector where I can hook people up? So I'm sort of like a Swiss Army knife, and I do a lot of those things. But you need to really be good at something. You need to master each particular category and build up that resume and portfolio before you can be an advisor and a consultant, and before you can work with stars and celebrities where they trust you and put on the up-and-coming artists. So for me, it was just building up credibility in the entertainment industry because people, I work in the hip-hop and rap game, primarily, and people are like, what's this, this guy from the North Shore of Chicago that doesn't look like everyone else? What's he doing? Why is he here?
Thanks.
So what I like to do is help people.
Oh, I love that. And you definitely have. You definitely helped me, I know, from personal experience. Like I said, you know me from a young man coming straight out of college with a camera in my hand. and you definitely put me indoors that a lot of people would not put anyone indoors. You know what I'm saying? And you're a real genuine person. It never amazes me everything that you're on. You know, you're doing to the shows, to being courtside and seeing you on TV, to literally just being around and helping people, especially, you know, the people that you even take under your wing or even have, you know, see potential to take under your wing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Nothing's more important than doing good business and the name, your name and your reputation and the respect that goes along with it. So if you do bad business in Chicago in hip hop and rap, you're not going to last too long, that's for sure. So, and also shout out CVO, former college football player like myself. I played football at Western Michigan. And while we're doing shout out to Throwback Cigars.
Most definitely.
You know, they pay me to be the vice president of branding and marketing for them, courtesy of Steve at Exclusive 773. So Throwback Cigars is 8 different flavors cigars, 8 different flavors of pre-cut loose leaves, tons of different flavors of vapes. And CVO's the man. CVO, where'd you play college football at?
I played at the University of Dubuque. You know what I'm saying? One of the top 25 D3s in the country. Was supposed to go D1. You know, your ACTs are not there. They won't give you the scholarship. But I definitely found my home at the University of Dubuque. They gave me grant scholarships so I can actually play until I lost my right eye, which made me transition to being a videographer.
And turned you into the one-eye assassin.
Yes, the one-eye assassin. I love it always. I actually wanted to ask you a little bit about Throwback and how that situation came to be. I know you said courtesy of Steve.
Shout out Steve at Exclusive
yes.
773, the man. Groomsman of my $100,000 island wedding. Steve's the man. Yeah, I mean, how everything happened with Throwback Cigars was, you know, through referrals. So you do good business and business will land at your doorstep. You just have to trust the process. And, you know, for so long, people are like, Bill, you know, you should give this up. You know, even friends and family members are like, you know, how much do they pay you? You know, like, are they paying you? Did you get paid? You know, like that's the first question everybody asks. And, you know, if you ever needed a job, are those people going to give you a job? If you ever needed money, are they going to give you money? Of course not. So, you know, you just got to, once again, as I've mentioned before, trust the process. So Steve was referred to Throwback Cigars, and before you know it, within 6 months, you know, Steve and myself got a contract with G Herbo and Throwback Cigars, and the great 808 Mafia boss, Southside, we got him a contract with Throwback Cigars. So we've thrown some Throwback Cigar concerts, and there's a lot more good business coming in 2024. We got them into the Lyrical Lemonade Summer Smash.
Woo.
Shout out to Cole Bennett, founder of Lyrical Lemonade. He just had a new album drop called All Is Yellow, and it just hit the top of the charts, #1 in the world and in the United States as well. It's doing amazing, and I'll be bringing Steve courtside front row for the Bulls game this Saturday when it's Lyrical Lemonade night at the United Center for the Chicago Bulls game. So Bulls against the Sacramento Kings.
Ooh, well, let's go Bulls and
Everything
Lyrical Lemonade
exclusive. Like for real. I'm very curious, like how it even all started. Like you said, you made your way in this game. Like there's not too many interviews. That's what you said. Like, you're not too many interviews of you. Like, what should the world know about you if you were to come out of the shadows, like being the ghost, just being the man behind the scenes? Like, how would you describe your come up in the first place?
Yeah, so the reason why I don't do TV interviews or radio interviews or print interviews is I like to outprice myself. So I charge a tremendous amount to get me in front of the camera, but anything for CVO. CVO is always, I love you more, sir. Everything's always free of charge for CVO. I like to be, as I was telling CVO on the drive over here, I like to be behind the scenes, behind the curtain in another city, another state, another country, another continent, another world, another galaxy, another solar system, because like I don't like any attention. I want all the attention to go to my celebrity clientele and the artists that I'm hooking up with that clientele. You know, I make money. I'm good. To be alive at age 43 years old is a real blessing. So
always
how I made it in the entertainment industry was just by, you know, no job is beneath me. You know, I was wearing a suit working for Twista, and, you know, there's too much trash in the trailer backstage at OffFest with Common and Kanye. And what am I doing? I'm running around emptying the garbage in my suit. We're down in Atlanta shooting a music video. Pizza's here. I'm out there in the suit grabbing pizza from the from the delivery and grabbing a couple from my car for the way home. Those sticky fingers. But when I met Twista in 2013, I was helping produce this YouTube TV show that nobody watches. And nobody did watch, but this person had Twista on, and I grew up loving hip hop and rap since 1986. And I grew up in the North Shore of Chicago, where if you had a rap tape, you're getting sent to the principal's office. So it was very counterculture. Listening to hip hop and rap, and I listened to all the good rap back in the 80s, in addition to Metallica, Nirvana, and Guns N' Roses, but I always wanted to be a professional football player. And then the first day of college football, when we were top 25 in the country, I was actually in a video game, EA Sports College Football 2002. First day of college football practice, I realized I had no chance of going pro. So then I'm like, what the heck am I going to do in life? And then I eventually graduated from college, a shade under a decade, and I didn't become a doctor, but I did get a degree. And, when I met Twista in 2013, it was mainly like, hey, I'm going to help you produce these music videos. Hey, I'm going to help you, get booked for shows. Hey, I'm going to help you, have artists pay to do features, and just, mainly assisting, in any which way, Twista, because he had this album coming out called Dark Horse that had Chief Keef on it and Wiz Khalifa and all that other stuff. And him and his manager, Raul, they utilized me and some of the people that I were working with. And then Twista and I established a relationship where he would come over to my house and kick it. I'd go over to his studio and chill. And then, we ended up doing, a bunch of shows all over the country. And, shout out to Twista, West Side legend from K-Town. If it wasn't for Twista, I wouldn't be here right now. So just by doing good business and working with the old school rappers, which then transitioned to the new age people. I even produced some episodes for VH1 Black Ink Crew Chicago. Just once again, just believing
just hard work,
believing in myself. Yeah, I mean, for years I made no money. And I just was like, okay, it's worth it because I get to work with this celebrity and this celebrity and this celebrity. And then I started hosting shows, and I've hosted 8 G Herbo concerts, and I've hosted T.I. and Juvenile and Lil Bibby and Trey the Truth and, blah, 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 blah. I mean, the list goes on. Trippie Redd and Busta Rhymes and Paul Wall and Mike Jones. And I'm hosting Joel Santana and Jim Jones at the Diplomats this month, Queen Key, TCG Brothers. I mean, I've literally, I could sit here for an hour and tell you all the people that I've hosted.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't even rap.
Platinum.
Yeah, no, crazy.
I want you to hit on more when you said that you weren't getting paid for a couple of years. I think a lot of young people coming up, or even grown adult people, got to realize this. How did you even survive during that period investing in yourself if it's like you were really just developing those relationships, doing what you got to do behind the scenes, but how did you even survive and to the point where you are making money off of your craft and what your special, your gift is?
Yeah, so me with a college degree from, a university, 4-year degree. Then I went to professional sales school. Then I went to professional management school. And then I went to professional public speaking school, growing up and going to private school and public schools. I had crazy education, and, I had a job in corporate America. And when I had the opportunity to help out my friend, have Twista on a show, and then a few months later we had Lazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. And, I spent a day with Lazy Bone, and this was February 27th, 2014. I remember it like it was yesterday. My calves were so sore the next day because I was so fired up. I was doing calf raises for a half an hour on set. I was just so fired up. And, my grandparents, I came from a broken home, and my grandparents, my dad left me at birth, and, my mom, had some some issues she was dealing with. So I haven't talked to my mom since 2002. But my grandparents, they were, generational wealth and just, super, super supportive of me. So when I started off in the entertainment industry, I didn't have to worry about rent or bills or anything like that. So they allowed me to work for free. I mean, they didn't know that. They're coming at me hard. They don't understand hip hop and rap. They were born in the 20s. So they're like, you need a job, you need a job, you need a job, you need a job, just constantly coming at me about working. And I can't be like, hey, Nana, I'm working for a rapper. Like that wouldn't have worked with how old school my grandparents were. So they just thought I was unemployed, but I was really just putting in like 12, 16-hour days, just building my name in the entertainment industry. So for that first year and a half, it easily cost me $100,000, not working in corporate America. And, I've more than recovered that and then some since then. But 2013, 14, 15, 16, I mean, the list goes on of those years that I was losing money. And, courtesy of Steven Exclusive 773, he taught me how to monetize and make money off of what I do. Eventually, I believe that my resume was good enough to ask money. But I would never take $1 from a star or celebrity because I'm just so blessed that celebrities work with me. So it's up to the people that want to get tapped into the celebrities that are using me for that access. They're the ones that have to pay. So that's why celebrities love working with me, because every single person on the celebrities team, their friends, their family, their assistants, their managers, everybody gets paid. Everybody wants money from them. Everybody wants to stay in a free hotel and eat free meals and smoke free weed and drink free alcohol and get free clothes and all that other stuff. I'm the guy that brings money and business to the table and wants nothing in return. I just care about the friendship. So that's why celebrities mess with me on a whole nother level, because I've never once asked for $1 and I would not accept $1. So, perfect example, I had G Herbo throw out the first pitch for the Chicago White Sox to Tim Anderson before he was an all-star. And, G Herbo's, basically like, hey, Bill, this is awesome, man. You want to go out to dinner? I'm like, no, I'm good, man. Don't even worry about it. Enjoy the night. We hooked him up with a Bentley SUV that night. He was whipping around. So I lined up Lil Bibby with Vanessa Satin, the Double XL's editor-in-chief, for the interview of Double XL magazine, where they asked him, what's up with Juice WRLD? And he's like, I'm no longer a rapper, I'm a music executive. That was all courtesy of Pete Gidiuendo, Unnecessary Balling on Instagram, who used to manage Juice WRLD, who now manages Lil Durk and Trippie Redd at the same time. So, here I've got 14 photographers on set, Van from Black Ink Crew Chicago, a live farm animal, and I don't want anything from Lil Bibby. I was just happy that he was able to knock out that interview on my boy's $25 million roof. Shout out Joey Cacciatore, who sold Lacuna Lofts. So I just care about doing good business. I want nothing from stars and celebrities. I'm just so blessed and privileged and honored to, be in their presence of greatness where I could learn a thing or two. And, out of 10,000 rappers that are trying to make it in Chicago, I still have yet to meet one up-and-coming artist that would have that mindset mentality. That's why, since I've been doing this in 12 years, only 10 artists or less have ever made it internationally. So from Chicago.
Yeah,
So,
that's definitely facts.
I'll let you speak. But I do want to say, I really hope we get the message out here and they really picking up what he's putting down. Like, you got to invest in yourself and just invest in the relationships that you build.
Yeah, the bridges.
Priceless.
The bridges is really what holds everything together. As you could tell, Bill said he ain't asked for $1. He put people in position and play, brought money to the table, brought value to the table, to the team, to the people that he wanted to get close to. So you know what that means. His bridges are longer than the Golden State Bridge, and it got more the poles to hold it up, you know what I'm saying, than any bridge I've ever seen.
Now, nothing's more important than doing good business. Also, shout out to my boy AJ Heavyweight on Instagram. He's G Herbo's personal day-to-day bodyguard. He used to be Future's bodyguard for a couple years. But, one thing that I teach a lot of people, my motto is trust, respect, loyalty, and following the chain of command. One thing I always teach people is, like, if you do good business, your name and your reputation will continue to grow over the years. But the second that you burn bridges and you do bad business, you won't last very long. So that's why, the second it turned 2024 and I'm 12 years in the game, a dozen years in the entertainment industry, working with stars and celebrities from day one, my brand is just getting stronger and stronger and stronger because I've never screwed over one person, not for a dollar. I've lost over $100,000 doing this, spotting people and, investing in them and trusting in the process and, do good business and you'll just continue to grow and grow and grow. And, when I started working with Gierbo in 2016, he didn't have 1 million followers and his name was Lil Herb. Now when his new album drops, he'll be one of the biggest artists in the world once again. So, it's just, it's relationship building, that's for sure. So
I need to understand that confidence you had a conviction that this would all pay off. Like, how did you know?
So I grew up we drove by my townhouse that I grew up in Northbrook today. I lived next to Michael Jordan, 86, 87, and 88. We shared a common townhouse wall. And, I used to play basketball with him and a Larry Bird adjustable hoop that he gave me. And then he's like, hey, when I get my own hoop, I'm going to give it to you. It ended up becoming the Jordan Jammer, and he had moved to Highland Park by that time. So I'm still waiting on my Jordan Jammer, Michael.
Oh.
But, I went to school with Phil Jackson's sons, and one of his sons is one of my really close friends. And he hooked me up with the Chicago Bulls strength and conditioning coach, Al Vermeil. So I trained with the Chicago Bulls 96 to 2000 at their training facility, the Berto Center. And Al Vermeil was the first ever inductee into the USA Strength and Conditioning Hall of Fame. And his brother was Dick Vermeil, who won the Super Bowl with the Rams with Kurt Warner. And Coach Vermeil was the strength and conditioning coach for the 49ers with Joe Montana when they won the Super Bowl in 1981. He was a strength coach for the White Sox and then 6 championships with the Bulls. So he was the first ever strength and conditioning coach to do 3 major sports. So I'm learning from him. I'm learning from Michael Jordan. My grandparents were crazy wealthy. So I grew up around, Marshall Fields families and the McCormick families and the McCormick place and, the owner of Crate and Barrel and Rand McNally and, just crazy wealth, generational wealth. So when I'm around, these rappers that get the money or the athletes that get the money or the TV personalities or the movie stars, we'll see where that money is once they're done with their careers. I'm around people that are like, literally have billions of dollars, not millions, but billions of dollars. So when I'm around all this new money and people being flashy, it doesn't faze me. I care about the person. Like Gierbo, right? I'm already working with all my favorite musical artists of all time. Too Short, Paul Wall, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Wu-Tang Clan, all these different legends I've been around. So when I met Gierbo in 2016, I'd never listened to his music before. I wanted to meet the man, and then I'll give his music a try. I met Gierbo, the nicest guy ever. Then all of a sudden, he's a real lyricist. He's not using auto-tune. I like gangster rap. I don't like this auto-tune or R&B stuff. And next thing you know, we built a wonderful relationship. So I go with the individual first before I ever listen to their music. So that's just me because I've worked with almost every single one of my all-time favorite musical artists. Like I've done business with them. So like I'm not interested in like just in 2024 catching the new wave. Like I don't care. I care about you as a man or a woman. Then I'll check out your music.
I love it. I love it.
I want to know, like financially. I know CVO got some questions. I want to know financially what you're witnessing in the game, business wise, that these young artists up and coming could do better. Because you said you only seen maybe a handful or 10 really scale. Like
yeah, so I've seen when I started, Kanye West, Chief Keef, Common, Lil Durk, Polo G, Gierbo, Lil Bibby, Tink. Juice World, and then King Von, unfortunately, because he passed away. But like, I can't think of anybody else. I can't think of anybody else that's known internationally from Chicago. Like, there's a lot of great artists that may be known in Chicago, but if you go to New York, nobody's ever heard of them. If you go to Amsterdam, they'll like laugh in your face, like. So people think they have motion in Chicago, but like they're not even known in like LA or Atlanta. So, the number one thing that I've noticed that artists do wrong when they get money is they spend money. Like, I know so many artists that have gotten signed to major record deals, and the first thing they do is they buy a chain, they buy a watch,
Buy a
they
car.
they buy a car, right? Like, I grew up around people that have literally hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, and they'll drive the same car for 20 years. You know, they're wearing, you know, built like Bill Gates, rocking the Dockers. You know, like, I wear the exact same outfit to the gym every single day, 365 days a year, because I don't care. You know, when I was in my 20s and 30s is when I bought my 100 different pairs of shoes that I still have on ice. You know, that's when I bought my 30 suits and my, you know, 100 dress shirts and my 150 dress pants and my belts. And I bought all my clothing that I needed when I was getting money in my 20s and 30s. So now at age 43 with a baby boy on the way, June 23rd, you know, that's all I care about is like saving money, paying off my house, making sure my wife is straight. Like, I don't care about me. And these young rappers, they want to make sure that they have, you know, the pills that they pop. They want to make sure that they got that herb and the alcohol, and they got sections, and they're eating steak and lobster, and they're flying private jets, and they're staying in villas on islands and all that other stuff. And, you know, it was a reality check once that fake pandemic hit, when nobody can do shows, because they're like, all that money dried up, that show money. And like, you're not getting paid off YouTube. You know, you're not getting paid from like streams off Spotify and Apple. That's like laughable. And so many people have their hands in those so many different cooks in the kitchen, so many different hands in that pot. Like, if I'm a celebrity, if I'm, you know, Kevin Gates, and I put out a song, right? Like, the record label has to get paid. My manager has to get paid. I have to get paid, like, blah, blah, blah. You know, so like when you go on tour, that's like when artists get real money. And when you're not going on tour, if you're not doing shows, like, good luck to you.
Mm-hmm. They're not investing into themselves. They're not putting the money where it's going to make them residuals, even putting the money into the market where it's like, you're on tour, you got money coming in. You know, I feel like that's a lot of times where they mess up, because they have all this money. They're like, oh, it's going to last forever. The label's going to just give me the bag, this, that, and the third. But it's like, you first get that bag, you use that bag to get you more bags, because, again, when you're with a label, there's a 360 deals. You know what I'm saying? They'll do the 2 albums, the 3 albums, you know? And it's like, they can honestly push you. You know, they was like, oh, yeah, you got the album, we'll push you back 2 years, now you can drop your other album.
Yeah, they'll shelf you like they did Lil Bibby. And what did Lil Bibby do? He discovered Juice WRLD, and now he never needs to rap again for the rest of his life. So the problem rappers do, another thing is, like, they'll get paid $50, $100 for a show, right? And then they'll go blow half of it that night.
That same night at the club.
Yeah.
Right. And then, like, the worst thing is, if you get booked to do a show and you're an artist, why are you not doing a meet and greet at an album store or a clothing store earlier in the day? Why are you not doing an appearance at a club afterwards, right? So every time you go to a city, you could be knocking out 3 paid appearances, right? A meet and greet at some offsite location. You could be doing a meet and greet at your show where you're getting paid. Then you do your show, and then you do a hosting or even a club performance, right? So there's like 4, 5, 6 different ways an artist can make money each time they're at a city, in addition to booking studio time and banging out a feature with somebody that's going to pay you to do a feature. So it's just mind-blowing how comfortable these artists are and how lazy they are, because, you know, I do work with, like, you know, I've seen these artists that are older in age, that are the 80s and 90s rappers, that are the Hall of Famers, that are just, you think they're straight with their money? Yeah, hilarious. When you see them wearing the same outfit, that's never a good thing. You know, these rappers, they'll wear 10, 20, $30,000 outfits, give it to their friends and family, and never wear it again. These old school rappers, I'll see them rock something, and then 2 years later when I see them again, they still have that same, you know, gear in rotation. So, you know, which I can respect, you know, being super thrifty. You know, I'm a rock, like I said, the same outfit to the gym every day. But these rappers, you know, when you're pictured in something, you never want to be pictured in that same outfit ever again. So,
No, 100%. I'm telling
So you've pretty much seen it all. You witnessed it all, where it's like the good, the bad, and the ugly, where you can pretty much predict if an artist is going to go anywhere based off of his spending habits and his work performance.
I mean,
work
you
ethic.
can't predict, but you could certainly make a good guess. I mean, the key to the entertainment industry, you know, there's a lot of things, but like staying relevant, right? And it's like nobody cares what you did in 2023. Like nobody. Like you could have done 30 shows last year. Okay, what have you done this year? What'd you do in January of 2024? Oh man, but they start coming up with excuses, and excuses sound best to those who make them. So they can come up with any excuse under the sun, and it might sound wonderful to them, but me on the other end, I don't care. Here it is, 2024. It's February, and people haven't done shows yet, and they pretend like they're rappers. It's absolutely hilarious to me. And, I just did a song with Drake. I just did a song with Wiz Khalifa. And then you haven't done anything for 6 months? Okay, you fell off. It's so hard to stay on top of that hill, especially with people with a 3-second attention span. Like I could put out a video, where I'm with Arnold Schwarzenegger and people only pay attention to the first 10, 15 seconds. So, how do you think it is, in the music industry? Ice Spice blew up, and now what's Ice Spice doing in 2024? Like Sexy Red, she blew up last year. What's she doing right now? Like there's going to be somebody else replacing you, and that's what these artists in Chicago don't understand is like, oh man, I'm making big waves. Like I'm really getting it in right now. I'm up next. And then they pat themselves on the back. They're buying all this expensive clothing and jewelry. And then 6 months go by, and then they're back to, selling drugs on Instagram. So it's the worst. Wow. It's the worst. Be smart with your money. If somebody gives you $30,000, put $25,000 away and live off of $5,000 for 3 to 4 months.
That was going to be my next question is like, from the deals that you've seen happen from an upcoming struggling artist, maybe they get their first $100,000. You're advising how should they actually, what should they be doing?
Pretend like 80,000 doesn't exist. Invest it. Put some of it in a Roth IRA. Like put some in a safety deposit box. Like don't ever keep cash on you or at the crib. Don't let anybody know where you're at ever. Like if I'm ever out, nobody will ever know I'm out until a few days later if I do post about it. So. If you ever get money, pretend like you didn't have the money before. Like for me, I've lived off of expired food for years. I had $10,000 credit card debt for years. I literally was spending less than $1,000 on food a month. I promise you, in the 12 years of me working with stars and celebrities, there's been less than 10 times that I've ever bought myself a meal at a McDonald's or a Jimmy John's or any type of restaurant. The only time I will ever, because I cook at home every single meal, always. Wow. Always. The only time I'll ever go out to a meal is when I'm with my wife. And if she wants to go out every day, I would go out every day. But I eat every single meal at home, every meal, less than 10 times in 12 years that I've ever picked up a burger because I just want to like go eat a nice burger. That's not happening. No, you got to be tight.
That's discipline right there.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody like that either. Yeah, no, my wife eats out over 10 times a week. Easy. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner 3 times a day. So in 4 days she'll do that. But she could do what she wants, So for me, I'm on point.
I love it.
Discipline equals freedom, just like the legendary Jocko Willink taught. So,
ooh. Yes, sir.
The more disciplined you are, the more freedom you'll have. The more you can just turn your mind off and not even sweat the small things.
Of course.
Do you think, like the industry is lacking like financial literacy for artists, or do the labels are just ruthless? They don't care what these artists do with their money. Like,
so for me, playing Division I college football, who played with Matt LaFleur, the Green Bay Packers head coach, and Greg Jennings, the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame receiver, and Jason Babin, couple-time Pro Bowler, 12-year NFL vet. One of my guys who was at my island wedding, Walter Stith, works for Morgan Stanley, and he's at the Senior Bowl right now in Alabama. Teaching financial literacy for Morgan Stanley, to all the young future NFL players. So literacy, like how I have a college degree. How many people that work in the hip hop and rap industry in Chicago have a college degree? Not too many, right?
Exactly.
Literacy, how many of these artists can even spell literacy, let alone properly pronounce it, right? So, me who had no dad, and my mom, she wasn't teaching me anything, I made all my lunches growing up, Division I college football, how many games do you think she went to? None. I'm pretty much self-taught in addition to my wonderful teachers and the tutors that my grandparents provided me. But yeah, financial literacy doesn't exist when it comes to stars and celebrities and athletes and whatnot, unless they have good morals and values and a proper upbringing from a parental structure, or aunts and uncles or whatever. I mean, you need a real one in your corner. You need somebody who's going to not sugarcoat. That's how I slid in working with Twista, because the first time we really worked together, we're sitting together for 3 hours on the set of a music video. And, I'm keeping it real. I always keep it real. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm completely blunt. And I tell people things that they don't want to hear when everybody else in their crew is, yes men and yes women. That's one of the ways I've persevered, because they know I'm a real one. And yeah, I mean, like I said, if an artist gets $100,000 for a show, there's no way that they keep 5,000 of it. 95 spent. So it's unbelievable. Like, I've never seen people blow through money like this in my life, and I have some of my closest friends that spend money and trick off with their money like I have never seen. And me being extremely cheap, the cheapest you'll ever meet, it's sickening to me. And then when they need money and they cry and complain about it, there's no sympathy for me. That's for sure.
No, most definitely. Yeah, I think everybody needs to be taught that. We don't. It doesn't get taught in school, but it only can be taught to people that want to learn. A lot of these rappers, I feel like they don't want to learn. They just want to get the bag, record their music.
They think they know it all. Just ask them.
Yeah,
so
literally. And we probably gonna have a few on the podcast, ask them what they got going on, but we gonna have that for another day. I know we getting a little, you know what I'm saying, almost to that time. I want to ask you a question about one of your good friends and also partner, Steve. One of the legends.
Shout out Steve at Exclusive 773. It's his 40th birthday, February 12th. And we're throwing a Diplomats concert for his birthday. And we'll be in Vegas February 13th to the 17th for the Champs Trade Show, talking about how awesome throwback cigars are. And,
Yes,
Steve owns his own smoke shop, Smoke Valley, owns it. And, yeah, he's the man. So what's up with Steve?
As far as that, how did that relationship come together? How did you, really connect y'all? As far as what I've seen is from what I've seen in person and even on, Instagram or social media, you guys are almost two peas in a pod. You're almost like I see as your right hand man, your partner, your business partner. Again, he was at your wedding, so
groomsman at my wedding. And I was only allowed to invite 10 people to this $100,000 wedding on an island. It's unbelievable. My wife could have anybody she wanted, but yeah. So Steve, I stalked him on Instagram for a few years, and then once I leveled up, and I felt like I was producing a few movies, and I invited him over to the set, and that's how we really connected. And then he was almost like, hey, I got a shop on 87th and Vincennes, right there by Englewood. Come pull up on me, and me being, a guy, looks like me from the North Shore of Chicago, it was almost like a bet, right? Next thing you know, I'm putting in 100+ hours at his shop, just chilling, kicking it. And, we built a relationship starting in 2016. And, Steve was there for Lil Durk and Chief Keef and Lupe Fiasco and G Herbo and Lil Bibby and Famous Dex and Tank and, Katie Got Bands and Young Chop, and the list goes on. When these people, before they were famous, when they got famous, afterwards, before, during, after, all that, he's just stayed solid, And I wouldn't say Steve's my right-hand man. I would definitely say, I'm Steve's right-hand man, because he's certainly way above me. That's for darn sure. And, we just do business, I handle, operations, so let's say Steve is throwing a show, I'm going to handle every intricacy. So the front door, the back door, the green room, the stage, the digital display board, the marketing, lining up, all the talent, this, that, and the other. And, if I ever throw a show, I'll just pay Steve to, throw his name on it and be a host or whatever. But, doesn't matter if you're friends or best friends or whatever. Business is business, and I like giving him as much money as humanly possible. So nothing makes me happier than when I could give him money. So
I love that, and I just want to capitalize on what you just said. Doesn't matter, friends, family, nothing. Business is business. always, and that's what needs to be remembered,
Yeah,
especially.
and be careful about
Go.
doing business with friends or family. So,
Yeah.
you know, me who really has no family other than my aunt. I have one family member. When I got married, I had one family member, my aunt there, but like I really have no family. And my friends, like when I needed a job and I was 10K in the hole and I had no money, like who was there for me? Not one person, you know. And things went sideways with my mom in 2003. And I was the most popular guy in elementary school. And then I went to a private junior high. And then I was the most popular guy in the private junior high. Then I went to a high school, right? Public high school. Didn't know one person, just like all these other places. Became the most popular person. Then I played Division I college football. I was the most popular guy in the football team starting freshman year. We're top 25 in the country. So here I am, the man, my entire life. And when I needed money, when I needed a job, who do you think was there for me? Not one person, ever. Nobody. Nobody ever helped me out. Then the second I meet Twista, oh, can I get an autograph? Can I be in a music video? Can I meet him? Can you bring me to the show? This, that, and the other. Now all of a sudden I'm the coolest, most popular guy again. And then 12 years later, that times, a trillion. And once again, nobody has ever helped me out. I would say the only person that has ever helped me out would be Steve at Exclusive 773.
Shout out Steve. Steve is the man. Steve is the man. Another question I wanted to kind of touch base into. I know when I first started out, I knew that I was seeing on social media you were doing a lot of stuff for Kevin Gates and pushing the energy drink.
Yeah, one of my best friends, a groomsman at my wedding, Greg Calloway, he was Kevin Gates' manager for 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So yeah, when Kevin was locked up, he was locked up in the state of Illinois. So Kevin Gates' manager, Greg Calloway, breadwinner Greg, he thought of the incredible idea to start pushing his energy drink in the state, in the city that he's locked up in. So I Don't Get Tired energy drink was his energy drink. They had pineapple, and I think the other flavor was grape or whatever. And, we just went to the south side, the west side, the east side, and we were just going to all the corner stores, all the street corners, just pumping that I Don't Get Tired energy drink. So when Kevin got out of prison and he needed to shoot a music video, and his manager was like, and Drika, his wife, were like, who should we shoot a music video with? That's when I recommended Cole Bennett. So Kevin Gates' first music video when he got out of prison was shot by Cole Bennett. And Cole Bennett wasn't where he's at right now, right? But Cole Bennett was still the man. And I knew Cole Bennett would be bigger and better than Azay Production and Laka Films, who were at the time, those were the top three. And I believed in Cole Bennett. I'm like, this guy is definitely up next. And now Cole Bennett's getting nominated for, Music Video Director of the Year from MTV, VH1, BET, all that stuff. And I think he even won Video Director of the Year for YouTube. And Cole Bennett's just the biggest legend ever. But yeah, Kevin Gates' manager, a real G. And he started off working with, B.O.B. and T.I., and then he jumped over to Kevin Gates and, went all over the world with Kevin Gates, and then some, many times over. And then I hooked up Kevin Gates with Nicky Films, Nick Brzezinski, to be, his, whenever Kevin Gates did, interviews with Mike Tyson or shows or shoot music videos, it was my boy Nicky Films who filmed my wedding. That's Kevin Gates' guy to this day. So,
oh man,
that's it. And I met Nicky Films back in 2014 when I was executive producer for one of the 12 music videos that I executive produced for Twista.
And I know you said you're executive producer, and you've done. Obviously, we all know you've done a lot. You the man.
Indeed, you are, sir.
What is your favorite music video that you've produced, or even what I'm saying, like shed your whole heart on? What would you, your favorite, or even top three if you want to say?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ooh, hard one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would say one of my favorites is probably Annoyed with Famous Dex that I was the executive producer for, because the reason why that was so cool was because I hooked up Laka Films, who owns No More Heroes, with this guy named Angelo who owns Dada Creative. So those two had never worked together, and I lined up the set, I lined up all the female talent, blah 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 blah. The list goes on of what I did for that music video, And then 12 hours later, video is edited and put out onto YouTube. And obviously now has over 1 million views. But like whenever I deal with shooters, videographers, cinematographers, and, camera people, I always tell them, I'm like, price, quality, and delivery is super important, but nothing is more important than delivery time. So you're telling me these guys shot, edited, and put out onto YouTube a music video that has 1 million views in less than 12 hours, and it's going to take you 2 weeks to send me a picture? It's hilarious, you know? And with my iPhone 15 Pro Max, I'm going to take better pictures than you anyways, and I'm going to have it instantaneously.
100%. 100%. The man with the plan. Like
you can
always.
dive deeper into working with videographers because I didn't know you worked with the artists too for the videos.
I'm talking the whole nine.
D Gaines did a lot of work with D Gaines, who shot all those Chief Keef music videos, and I've worked with like the top 5 most famous people that have ever shot music videos in Chicago history, and CVO is obviously, certainly top 5 as well. Legend. Top 5 dead or alive, just like Jadakiss. I hosted the Locks last year. I was one of those many people that I talked about hosting. But man, like videographers, like these iPhones take better video quality and picture quality than most people's cameras, and it's right there on your phone. So you better be quick to the draw when it comes to turnaround time. I was with Gierbo a couple days last week, and my photographer is showing him pictures right there on his MacBook Pro that he took that night. And then I had him put together a folder of previous work that he had done because I got him, backstage for the Summer Smash. So he was taking pictures of Gierbo in the Summer Smash. He paid to, have media access for a couple of Gierbo shows that I've thrown. And before you know it, Gierbo was thoroughly impressed with this gentleman's photography skills. So just be super professional. I've worked with photographers that have taken my picture. 30 seconds later, they've printed it out and handed me, an actual piece of, photography paper with my photo on it. I've worked with photographers, shout out Tito G, @lens, who's Kodak Lens's, cousin. This dude shoots Jay-Z like pretty much every day. This dude will take, 1,000 pictures, and within 10 minutes, he's sitting on his couch combing through all the content. Within a half an hour, everything's already been emailed to you. So,
So the artists that are working with extreme urgency, like their life depends on it.
Yes. Like they don't go home and smoke. They don't go home and drink, shit, shower, shave. They just go home, go through the content, and get it over to all the parties that be, starting with the person that provided you that opportunity first, and then the celebrity, where a lot of people just post on social media like they're the man, they're the woman, look at where I just was, and they didn't even get anybody their content yet. Like, that's the worst I've ever seen. It's hilarious.
Or even showing love, like I said, to the person that helped put that connection together. Because without that, individual.
Proper sourcing. You always got to give proper credit in sourcing. Like I might put 18 paragraphs in a caption, when I post something, but you better believe everybody gets their flowers and everybody gets paid the proper respect that is due.
I love it.
What do you think? Given what you just said, what do you think about that? Artists asking videographers to shoot a music video in exchange for a shout out and clout.
I mean, if I'm shooting Snoop Dogg, yeah, I'll pay Snoop Dogg to shoot the video, right? Like,
of course.
No, I'm just saying, like, straight up, like, I worked for Twista for 1.5 years. It cost me over $100,000. Like, was that worth my $100,000 investment where I'm at right now, where I've worked for myself for 12 years and I've been fired from every corporate job I've ever had. I don't stand for disrespect. So, me working for myself as my own boss for the last 12 years and living in a beautiful house and have everything that I could ask for in life, like, it was well worth it, man. So, like, if I had to pay Gierbo to shoot a music video for Gierbo, you better frickin' believe I would frickin' pay to shoot a Gierbo music video. Do you know how much that's going to help you? And you could leverage that when you're selling to the 10,000 up-and-coming artists in Chicago that you shot a Gierbo video. If you had to pay Gierbo $10,000 to shoot his music video and you couldn't make that $10,000 back in the next 10 weeks, there's something wrong with you. I mean, you have problems. So, good luck to you. And that's why nobody really makes that out of Chicago, because they think that, man, I should be getting paid to do a show. I'm not going to pay to do a show. They should be paying me. You'll never make it. You'll never make it. And that's why, for me, who works with all the stars and celebrities, and I'm not a music producer, I'm not a rapper, but these people love and respect the heck out of me. because I do good business. And I'm not like, hey, man, I'm not going to do this for free. You should be paying me. I'm not in rotation anymore. The second that you say no to a celebrity one time, that's it. You're done. Year and a half working for Twista, I said no, not one time. Because the second you say no one time, you're instantly replaced. Instantly.
So, all right, because people are going to listen to this and they're going to take, So for the artists that are on the come up, how do they avoid getting taken advantage of? And then I want you to lead into like getting your first big check. If you can remember what that felt like, what was the cause and effect for you to really say all that was worth it with your first big check, right?
Yeah, I would say, just once again, you got to trust in yourself, and like regardless if I've gotten paid, $10,000, $20,000 in a day cash, cool. It's not, or days that I make no money, right? My work ethic should still remain, A1. So I forgot the first part of your question.
Yeah, so like to avoid, because I've run into artists, maybe they're on the come up and they think I should shoot for free or something like that.
Feel like they've been taken advantage of. I would love to have a celebrity take advantage of me. Please, please, all celebrities out there, please take advantage of me. Because me, with my college education and my upbringing and my smarts, my street smarts, I'll be able to leverage that all day into printing money. So, when I've been on TV and I've gotten interviewed, like in my head, I'm like, price is going up, right? So just building the resume, the track record, the portfolio, right? So please get taken advantage of as much as humanly possible by celebrities and, by TV and media outlets, stuff like that. Now, when it comes to a no-name loser taking advantage of you, like that's your fault.
Because we've heard it all. Oh man, we could just stick together, man. We gonna blow up like so and so, like Coleman.
Nobody ever sticks together. So I've seen many people have their hype man, many stars and celebrities. Is anytime the celebrity ever performed, there's their hype man right there. They get their money, they check that bag. Where's that hype man? Flipping burgers. So I've never seen any besides G Herbo, because the bigger he gets, the smaller circle he keeps. No new friends. Him and Lil Bibby, they're from that same, No Limit clique. Pretty much those guys stay solid. Everybody else, they're not looking out for their friends and family, and the only reason why they made it was because of them. That's why I love Pete Genuando, Unnecessary Balling, because I'm the one that hooked him up with G Herbo. I'm the one that hooked him up with Lil Bibby. All of a sudden, Lil Bibby and his brother George, G Money, they discover Juice WRLD. And who do they need? They need a day-to-day guy to manage them. Who do they hook up? Pete, right? Next thing you know, Pete has millions of dollars in the bank, and he actually, thanks me and like calls me occasionally to like, show love and be like, basically, thank you for putting me in position, man. And like, if there's one man that deserves billions of dollars, it's that guy, man. And he just rented out the United Center for another Juice WRLD day, So, and he was just front row at the fashion awards or fashion show in Paris. I don't know, because I wasn't there, so I'm probably fumbling it. But like, how many people have I helped out? Thousands. Literally thousands of people I've helped out. How many people have actually like call me yearly or every time show love? Not too many. And how many of those people are still around? Even less.
Exactly.
So, try and tap into my connections. I'm the one who puts you into that connection. It's easy for me to put you on. It's much, much, much easier for me to make sure that you never work again with those people.
Got
so
you.
Just do good business.
Got you. And the second half of my question was like, on your journey where it's like you're constantly investing, like I wanted to know, do you remember the day it kind of turned around for you? Like your proof of concept, like what I was doing was worth it. Damn, I finally went in. First big check. You remember that day?
Maybe like when Steve at Exclusive 773 had me host Twista. So maybe that was like a day that came full circle, because here I go. I work for Twista for a year and a half. Then I start my own stuff. I started my company, Raw Talent Shy. So Raw Talent Shy has 22,000 hashtag posts. and I only personally have 300 posts. So that'd be like hashtag, DK850 consulting hashtag has 22,000 hashtag posts. And this Instagram page, DK850 consulting, only has 300 posts. That's like 21,000 times people have used your hashtag, right? And for me, I'm like, hey, I hook you up with this celebrity. I do this show for you. I do this photo shoot for you. The least you could do is use my hashtag. You don't even have to shout me out. Like, proper respect is like, shout out Bill Crane, Crane's World TV, founder, Raw Talent Shy, and then throw my hashtag on there. But I only care about my hashtag. So like, for me, I've done incredible business growing that hashtag. Crane's World TV hashtag, I don't even use it, has 5,500 hashtag posts. So between Crane's World TV and Raw Talent Shy, I'm at like 28,000 hashtag posts, which is a crazy movement. 99% of all businesses in Chicago do not have 28,000 hashtag posts. I can assure you that. So full circle moment for me was when in 2016 I hosted Twista. So I went from working for him, right, to now I'm hosting a concert with him. Like that was, for me, that was like really cool. Shoot. One of the coolest hostings I did was for Steve's birthday when Lil Bibby and G Herbo performed the entire concert together in unison. That was like phenomenal.
And that's rare. And that was rare.
I can't tell you that I swear to you, I think that's the only concert that they've ever done together the entire time together on stage, 2 mics, and just going hard. That was a once in a lifetime experience for sure. But yeah, I mean, working with Busta Rhymes, like I'm a big movie guy. I'm a movie guy over music, so like Higher Learning is one of my favorite movies, Method Man, like being in the smoker's van with Method Man, like Belly for me is my favorite, one of my all-time favorite movies, so, like I care, I go deep into the relationships with these people and not just like, hey, this is a rapper, like, hey, they were in this movie, they're friends with this person. Like I really sit back and marinate on how legendary it is. But when I'm in the moment, man, it's strictly war. When I'm in those trenches, no smiling, no pat yourself on the back. I don't care how much money I have, like it's all out war. And, I'm going to keep on going until, God says it's no longer time for me to be on this earth. So you can never have enough money. My grandmother worked until 94 years old and she had millions and millions of dollars. So she wanted to work, man. That's it.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter how much money your family has, it's how much money you have. So.
Right.
Wow.
That's true.
Make a name for yourself, not because of somebody else. That's real game. That's my favorite is when people work with stars and celebrities and they think they're a star or celebrity and they try and, branch out on their own, or they try and like get into a bar or a club and they're like, who the hell are you? I work with so-and-so. Like nobody cares. So it's my favorite when people are all high on the horse. Be humble, be courteous, respectful.
Yeah, and be hungry. Stay hungry too.
At all times.
All times.
For sure. We're going to wrap up in a bit. I do want to get 2 more questions, and pretty much if you can reflect on your journey this whole time, is there any like really big mistake that you can tell the next guy who's trying to walk in your footsteps, like that they could watch out for? Like what is something that was a mistake that you could have learned from or whatever?
Well, the first 47 times I hung out with Twista, I called my friends and I was like, I hung out with Twista today. We did this, that, and the other, right? And eventually I'm like, okay, this is your 48th time hanging out with Twista. What could you have done better, right? Because I'm a perfectionist, right? So then 100 times in hanging out with Twista, I'm pretty much like a polished professional. I'm never holding myself accountable when I get home on what I could have done differently, right? So for me, what I do every time I do an event, every time I step out, I think about what I could have done differently, right? And how I could perfect that process. So for me, I'm never like happy. I'm never excited that I made money or I had a successful show. I'm always concentrating on the negatives, like what I could have done better. Now, a dozen years into the game, I maybe mess up a few times a year, right? Like literally, if that. And nobody knows that I messed up. It's just me, So, just literally, for me, I treat this like a job, right? Like who has fun at their job? Like most people, right? So when I'm in the cut with stars and celebrities and people are like, this is awesome, and they're drinking and smoking, I'm a straight edge. I don't drink or smoke, If I did, it would be throwback cigars. But yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, like, you just got to concentrate on obsessing about being perfect at all times and just never, just always do good business. And the second that you say something bad and the second that you do bad business, you're instantly canceled. And, very, very, very bad things can happen to you or your family. So just do good business. That's all I could tell you. And like, pretend like God is watching you and pretend like, there's a peanut gallery on seeing like how you're moving. I've had people spit on me. I've had people throw stuff at me. I've had people do tons of stuff. But when you've built an empire like I have, one bad move, one viral video of me, checking somebody. I played Division I linebacker, man. I love hitting people. I love getting hit. So like, I'd love to be physical out there, but I can't. So I just have to just kill people with kindness and just take the disrespect and just keep it moving, So
that's real.
Dang.
That is real.
The last important question, I'll phrase it like this. Like, I know you got a child on the way, right?
Yeah, all glory to God, and God willing, I have a child on the way. My wife is 19 weeks and 3 days pregnant, and we found out the gender a few days ago, and thankfully it's a boy because,
wow,
I did not want a girl. I promise you. I don't, shout out to all the girl dads out there, but like, I'm telling you, it would not have been good.
CVO's about to find out really soon any day now too.
Yeah.
He working on, he got something in the oven. So like, how I can phrase a question is like, if either you can time travel to your younger self and you only had really 60 seconds, or this 60 seconds of video recorded to your child for life-changing advice, what is that going to be for that person to be successful?
Yeah, if I had 60 seconds to tell my unborn child what's up, I would say, number one, don't worry about what anybody else says or thinks. All that matters is what you think and what you believe. And if you trust in yourself, you're destined for greatness. Every second counts. Stay away from marijuana and drink on special occasions. And, make sure you leave a legacy for future generations, because what you do, right now will echo in eternity, just like the movie Gladiator. So yeah, just live every day to the fullest. Every second counts. You can only live once. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. So, just do good business and be a loving and caring person, and just lift weights every day, do cardio every day, play in the NFL, like your father should have. Don't worry about getting married until you're in your late 30s. Girls will come and go. The second you start working with celebrities, the girls will always be there. The second you're a celebrity playing college football, the girls will be there. But I found a real one. To my wife is like my everything. So a lot of celebrities, a lot of people I know cheat on their girls. Not me, never in a million years. So find that good girl, marry her. Tell her she never has to work ever again, and that's it. So shout out to my son, little baby coming on the way, little baby boy.
Woo.
Perfect.
Woo.
Perfect.
I gotta figure out what I'm gonna say to my kid. Hold on, that's good. I might just use your video. Like, hey,
What he said.
right? What he said.
For sure, man. And at that, I'll just wrap it up and say I want everybody to be clear and know exactly where they can find you and your companies. You can let them know how can they find you, follow up with you.
Yeah, I'm Bill Crane, Crane's World TV with a C. Bill Crane, Crane's World TV, founder of Raw Talent Shy on Instagram. And I don't do Snapchat or TikTok because that's for the kids. I'm a 43-year-old man. So if you want to reach out to me, that's that, And, people also hit up my cell phone, 949-378-0875. I'm not afraid of anyone, so I have no problem putting my phone out there. So
I love it.
That's that. And yeah, that's me.
Yep.
Lil
Scrolling
Durk
through the
and Cole
gram.
Bennett. That's when I got G Herbo on WGN Radio.
Trippy Red.
Threw a Trippy Red concert at an indoor arena. There I am with Beanie Siegel. And there I was on the field with Chicago Bears. I was getting interviewed by
on the
WGN.
field, yes.
Project Pat, 3-6 Mafia,
So
blah,
guys,
blah, blah, blah.
everything we just talked about is real. Like, check it out. Follow him right here. I'm showing you guys.
Yeah, I'm not an Instagram guy. So, like last year I worked with a couple hundred celebrities. I posted like 10 times. So, this year, crazy year, I haven't posted anything other than, talking about, the Diplomats concert and the Queen Key concert that I got coming. So,
Yes.
You know, a lot of good stuff though this year. It's gonna be. Last year was my best year yet. You know, Hulk Hogan, Mike Tyson, Ric Flair, Lil Durk, Moneybag Yo. Like the list goes on of like
Sheesh.
you know people that I worked with last year. So this year's got to be bigger and better.
And it's gonna be. I believe in it. You know what I'm saying? I know you. I know you.
In
personally.
CVO, I
Oh,
trust. Always have, always will.
Yes, I
For
love
sure.
it. I love it. And also, we want to make sure we give a big shout out to Throwback Cigars. They take over the game. They're gonna eliminate everybody out of the cigar business. So make sure you tap in with Bill,
Throwback
Steve,
cigars.
everybody at Throwbacks. The best thing out.
We got some personalized white label pre-cut loose leaves for Steve at Exclusive 773. We got some Southside ones, and we got some Gierbo coming out.
You
so
see? They
instead of it
taking
saying
over.
classic, it's going to say Gierbo or Exclusive 773 or
Southside.
the best music producer for Future and Polo G, and the list goes on. So
Man, legend. That's
Indeed you
all
are.
I have to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I'm happy with this one. It's the,
Man, it's the
it's
one.
The new best
It's
episode.
it's the best episode
Well, I would
coming
hope
to
so.
you.
I would hope so. Some real games. So make sure you break
Oh.
out your pen and paper, and you may have to loop it back a few times, but
Oh.
just dropping gems. It's up to you whether or not you utilize them.
Exactly. We could lead the horse to water, but we can't make him drink.
Exactly.
That's correct. And make sure you never fish off the company dock.
Woo! Oh, we can't give him no more. It's too much.
You heard
it's
it.
too much. We could be
You
here for
already heard it.
hours.
You already know where you can follow.
You know what he's saying? Delete King CVO, Chicago's very own. Come tap in.
For sure. And me, Delete King 850 is DeleteKing850.com. You can tap in with us. We specialize in helping people get their finances off the ground. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you're already an entrepreneur, if you already have a business running, you need some business funding, come tap in, DeleteKing850.com, YouTube channel, Instagram, everything. Book a
Podcast
consultation,
everywhere.
You know?
Listen.
And we officially got the ebook out. It's coming soon. If you've never heard about credit, you don't know anything about structuring your personal credit, building out your business credit so you can have the funds you need to chase your dreams, tap in with us and book a consultation call. At the end of the day, we got the resources, the information. Appreciate y'all if y'all made it this far. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Stay blessed.
Mandatory.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
Hashtag Raw Town Shy.
Yes,
See you guys.
sir.